Last month, a developer shipped an AI feature to 50,000 users. Within 2 hours, their OpenAI bill hit $2,000. Not from successful requests, but from retry storms hammering a rate-limited endpoint. Every failed request triggered 3 retries. Every retry got rate-limited. Every rate limit triggered more retries. The fix took 15 minutes to write, but that 15-minute pattern is the difference between production-grade AI and a very expensive lesson. Let me show you exactly what they should have built. Most developers handle AI API errors like this. A try catch that logs the error and maybe shows a toast to the user. This works fine when you have 10 users, but at scale, this innocent-looking code becomes a distributed denial of service attack against your own wallet. The problem is not that errors happen. The problem is what you do next. When an AI API rate limits you, it does not just say no, it tells you exactly when to come back. This 429 response from OpenAI includes headers that are pure gold. X-rate limit remaining tells you how many requests you have left, and retry. After tells you exactly how many seconds to wait. Ignoring these headers is like ignoring a traffic light and wondering why you keep crashing. Not all errors deserve retries. A 400 bad request means your payload is malformed. Retrying will fail forever. A 401 means your API key is wrong. Retry all you want, it is not going to magically become valid. But 429 rate limits, 500 server errors, and network timeouts? Those are transient. They deserve intelligent retries. Your code needs to know the difference. Let us build this decision logic into actual code. This error classifier function takes any error and tells you whether it is retriable and how long to wait. Notice how we check for the retry after header first. If the API tells us when to come back, we listen. For server errors without that header, we return a default delay that our backoff algorithm will use. Exponential backoff is simple. Wait longer between each retry. First retry waits 1 second, second waits 2, third waits 4, and so on. But here is the critical part most tutorials skip. You need a maximum delay cap. Otherwise, your users are waiting 17 minutes for retry number 10. We also add jitter, a random offset, so that when 1,000 users hit a rate limit simultaneously, they do not all retry at the exact same millisecond and crash the API again. Let us see this in action. Watch the delays grow. Attempt 1 waits about a second. Attempt 2 waits 2 seconds with some jitter. And by attempt 5, we are at around 16 seconds. The jitter means no 2 runs produce identical delays. This randomness is not a bug. It is the feature that prevents retry storms. Now we combine classification and backoff into a generic retry wrapper. This function takes any async operation and handles all the retry logic. Notice the retry budget. We cap at 5 attempts total. Also notice we pass the attempt count to our classifier in case we want different behavior on later retries. The sleep utility uses a promise wrapper around set timeout. Simple but essential. Here is our retry wrapper in action with an actual OpenAI call. The onRetry callback logs each retry attempt. This is crucial for debugging and monitoring. When a rate limit hits, you will see exactly what is happening instead of wondering why requests are slow. Notice we are not changing any OpenAI specific code. The wrapper handles everything. Retries are great, but what happens when the API is completely down? You do not want to keep hammering a dead endpoint. Enter the circuit breaker, borrowed from electrical engineering. When failures exceed a threshold, the circuit opens and immediately rejects requests without even trying. After a cooldown period, it lets one request through to test if the service recovered. If that succeeds, the circuit closes and normal operation resumes. Here is a production-ready circuit breaker implementation. The state machine tracks failures. When we hit 5 failures within our window, the circuit opens. While open, every call throws immediately without touching the network. After 30 seconds, we enter half-open state and allow one request through. Success closes the circuit, failure reopens it. This prevents cascade failures from overwhelming a struggling service. The real power comes from combining both patterns. The circuit breaker wraps the retry logic. So, retries happen inside. But if the whole thing fails repeatedly, the circuit opens. This gives you local resilience through retries and system-wide protection through the circuit breaker. Notice we create one circuit breaker instance and reuse it across all requests to the same service. Here is a subtle bug that burns people. Your request times out, so you retry, but the first request actually succeeded. The timeout was just on the response. Now you have duplicate data or double charges. Idempotency keys solve this. You send a unique ID with each logical request. If the server receives the same ID twice, it returns the cached response instead of processing again. Most AI APIs support this. Here is how to implement it with OpenAI. Sometimes the right answer is not to retry. It is to degrade gracefully. Maybe you fall back to a cached response. Maybe you use a simpler model that is less likely to be rate limited. Maybe you show a helpful message instead of an error. This multi-tier fallback strategy tries GPT-4 first, falls back to GPT 3.5 Turbo, and finally returns a cached or default response. Your users see something useful even when everything is on fire. When you know your rate limits, you can prevent hitting them entirely. This simple queue processes requests with a minimum delay between them. If you are allowed 60 requests per minute, you space them at least 1 second apart. The queue also respects the X rate limit remaining header. If we are running low, we slow down proactively instead of waiting for a 429. All this resilience code is useless if you do not know when it is actually firing. You need metrics. This instrumentation wrapper tracks every API call. Success rate, latency percentiles, retry counts, and circuit breaker state. When your retry rate spikes from 1% to 15% at 2 a.m., you want an alert, not a customer complaint. Ship these metrics to Prometheus, Datadog, or whatever you use. Here is the final production client that combines everything. Rate limited queue to prevent hitting limits, circuit breaker for system protection, retry wrapper with exponential backoff, idempotency keys for safe retries, graceful degradation with fallbacks, and metrics for observability. This is the exact pattern running in production at companies processing millions of AI API calls per day. Copy this structure, adapt the details to your stack, and sleep better at night. Before you implement this, avoid these common mistakes. First, do not retry forever. Set a budget and stick to it. Second, do not ignore the retry after header. It exists for a reason. Third, do not use the same retry logic for reads and writes. Write operations need idempotency keys. Fourth, do not forget to test your failure paths. Use fault injection to verify your fallbacks actually work. And finally, do not wait until production to discover your error handling. Simulate rate limits in staging. You just learned 3 production critical patterns for AI API resilience. First, exponential backoff with jitter prevents retry storms from compounding your problems. Second, circuit breakers protect your system when downstream services are struggling. Third, graceful degradation ensures users always see something useful, even when your primary AI provider is down. Next up, watch our video on LLM observability and tracing. Because knowing when things fail is only half the battle, you also need to know why. If this saved you from a 3 a.m. incident, hit subscribe and drop a comment with the worst API failure story you have. I read every single one.